three doctor client scenarios, right? Like there is a scenario, and I
Yes.
would like you to talk about it a
Okay.
little bit, where somebody shows up and says, hey, it is so great. We have 6 doctors in our practice, and we want to have investments at 6 different investment companies, and they all have their own advisors. And then there will be a staff plan for just the staff. Hey, can we do that?
We're just looking at the first part. Can we have a situation where every owner has a different advisor with a different broker-dealer with a different brokerage account? Yes, we have a multitude of those, and they're a complete pain in the tuchus.
But we can do it, and that is part of the special part of our service.
But we can do it, that part. However, the next part negates the first part, and that's very important, and we don't let this happen, all right? So if you have, we still have this concept of benefits, rights, and features, all right? If you have a feature that only goes to all the Hileys and none of the non-Hileys get that better feature, then we have a problem. You're failing benefits, rights, and features, and we need to come up with a different solution.
So I thought the answer was, common woman on the street, was yes, you can have 6 different investment places with different advisors and a plan at a record keeper, but everyone has to have access to it, right? Isn't that the answer?
You have to make it actively available to at least 70% of the rank and file.
So we can come up with the notices, we can come up with the plan, we can make it work. We can, because that is our special sauce, right? Do you really want to do it that way? It's a pain in the butt, and it's going to cost a lot because
more money.
But if you walk into a practice and the doctors are just so deeply that they have to have their own people because they don't trust each other, because sometimes that is what it is.
That is a lot of it, yeah.
That is what it
is,
is, and
yeah.
they don't want to have
Right.
certain things discussed. It can be done.
Right.
But really what is highlighting on this is a great plan consultant like Hunter Benefits can actually have a plan where you have maybe the assets, a lot of the assets in one place, and you have something that's an additional place. It's just you have to offer it the right way so it's legal. And actually, that is your bread and butter. You know how that works. Good job, Christopher.
Can I describe a real situation that we had with a doctor's group that made it very okay?
Well, that's what I really was trying to go for.
There
You
we
wanted it in the form of a question, as if we were playing Jeopardy, and I really want the real case stuff.
Okay, so what we had a situation, it was a much larger practice than this, where we had way more account balances than people. I think everybody had 4 different brokerage accounts. Okay, don't ask. And it was a large medical practice, and some of them had 4 different accounts with 4 different financial advisors. It was a cluster, and it was a real pain in the ass, and that is the polite way of saying it. It was a real pain in the ass for the office manager to have to do the deposits every pay period and everything else. Operationally, it was a disaster for the HR department. So what we suggested was that we pick a record keeper that everybody was happy with a different financial advisor than one of the owners. So that was like Switzerland, okay? But we set it up so that everybody who was over, we made in-service distributions at age 59 and a half and with 5 years of participation. So all the plan assets were on a record keeper.
Okay.
All deposits went to the record keeper. But when they were 59 and a half, they could take out their deferrals, they could take out their safe harbor, and when they'd been there 5 years, regardless of age, they could take out their employer profit sharing contribution to an IRA where they could invest it any way they wanted. We ended up with a situation where we had one record keeper and no outside brokerage accounts.
So from an
Everybody
operational,
was happy.
Yep. So from an operational standpoint, that was a plan that practice could actually run with the staff that they had without a lot of huge mistakes and liability.
Made it
so was
operationally more easy.
Yep.
More
And
easier.
so I would say when you have a practice, you need something that is operationally straightforward because there are just too many problems that you don't want to spend time on.
Correct.
So this worked
The
very good.
The office manager loved us.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
success stories. So maybe part of this is, too, that one of your great talents is people come to you with confusing, weird things.
Yes.
And you can actually kind of guide them to the solution that is
Try.
going
It
to...
doesn't always work, but yeah,
I
we try.
just take the win.
I'm taking the win, babe.
Take the win.
I'm taking the win.
Okay. So I know we've had a specific thing like this where
Scenario number 2.
where a doctor has extra income from either speaking gigs or has invented a surgical device or procedure that they get income from. So what are a couple of solutions for somebody who's getting some extra money but doesn't necessarily need to spend it on their lifestyle but want to put it in
Right. Well,
an ERISA-based plan perhaps that actually gives them some protection?
does this doctor have employees?
Always a big question. I don't know. That you could answer it
Well,
both
there's
ways.
two
The
ways.
ones, right.
So now what's nice about this is that, and also it doesn't necessarily, now your scenario,
Yes, my scenario.
let's do 2 options. Number 1 being has no employees. None. Okay.
What if they work for a big hospital?
Uh-huh.
What if they work for a big hospital but don't have their own employees?
They don't have, like, they're an anesthesiologist,
Yep.
but they're still considered self-employed. Okay, they have no employees. All right.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, their net earned income is making less than $350, and that's the maximum amount we get to look at. But they have a speaking gig, they've written a book, they've got a very successful Instagram channel. I don't know. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is because they own that entity 100%. So we have
So they have a profitable gig.
they have a profitable gig. Right. So they have, this doctor has 2 entities from where there's earned income. All right. With the right plan design, we get to add up both of those incomes and get that person to at or over the maximum compensation amount. And that person is a prime candidate for an owner-only cash balance plan.
Yep.
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 Yeah, we try to, very often we have doctors who don't. Now what happens with this is, so let's expand on this, if I may.
Sure.
Okay, because we see this. We have a doctor who's selling their practice. Okay, but they're not going to completely retire. So they have this entity started that sponsored the plan. That was the plan sponsor. Okay, they're no longer going to practice that medicine, that specialty or whatever it was, but they're now going to go speak at colleges. They're going to write a book. They have earned income. They thought they were done with their retirement plan. Okay, everybody else gets paid out. All right, we move it from a plan with participants to an owner-only plan. That's a whole different set of videos. Okay, and that person gets to continue to make contributions to their 401k plan and probably start a cash balance plan because they only have themselves to worry about. Okay?
Sounds good.
Oh, no, we didn't talk about if they have employees.
Well, if they have employees, then
They have
that's a whole
employees.
other
They don't.
thing.
Yeah, you don't get, because this person owns both entities 100%. That is a controlled group. Once again, they get to add that earned income to employer number 1's earned income and perhaps weight the benefits a little bit more to themselves, but they still have those employees to take into account.
So I'd like to translate this to, there are lots of options depending on the circumstance, and you actually want to have a pension compliance geek who can figure that out for you.
Yes, dear.
So
Number 3.
another scenario. Did
I pass the audition so far? Am I winning?
You haven't poured me more bourbon.
No.
Okay. Doctors often are the highest income person in their family, right?
Yes.
So they help other family members have businesses, or they end up being owners or co-owners of businesses.
Yes.
Is this an issue, Christopher?
I wouldn't call it an issue, but it could be a planning situation.
Well, it's like the issue is you need to know. It's like
Well,
this
we need
isn't
to know- well-
this isn't a separate part of your life that you don't disclose because actually you have earned income or some kind of income that has to be considered.
Are they an employee? Okay, just because they're right. So then we get to, because not every owner is an employee. We need to know who all the owners are, and we need to know who all the employees are. We very often have owners who are not employees. They impact nothing because they're not employees. For the purpose of this video, let's keep it very simple. All right. We have a single employer. We do not have a controlled group. We do not have an affiliated service group, but not all the owners are employees. So in that instance, there's no effect because they're not an employee. If you have somebody who is an employee, but again, now we're going to have a third scenario. You've got somebody who's an employee, but is a more than 5% owner, but doesn't want to participate in any of the plans sponsored by the employer. That person is a 0, and that is a very good thing when we're talking about highly compensated employees in an ERISA plan. Okay, because they reduce the averages of the other highly compensated employees. So very often having Highleys who are legitimate employees, notice the use of the phrase legitimate employees, all right, not benefiting or benefiting very little inside the plan can help the plan design. Okay, now then, that's scenario number 2. That's a good thing. The other thing, which is a bad thing, is when we have somebody who says they have an entity that they have no employees of, and that's the only entity they tell us about. Okay?
Need to disclose.
And they need to disclose, and we think we're running an owner-only plan. And then because we're asking the plan sponsor for earned income information for entity A, they can't be bothered to send us their W-2, so they have their CPA get in touch with us. And then CPA firm sends us W-2s for B Chiropractic Company. What? Who are these people? Oh, I own a chiropractic company. Okay. That is a problem because that is a control group, and we need to go back and redo a bunch of compliance work because you have a lot of problems by not including these people in your plan contributions.
So to bring it home, doctors actually, as a group, have some fairly sometimes complex things that they're doing.
Oh yeah,
right?
Nothing simple.
And so in a practice where there's multiple doctors, sometimes there's multiple pressures to do things in different ways.
Yes.
That don't necessarily add value to the sanity of running
Just
the plan.
complexity. Yes.
So it helps to have a third party, such as us, to help
Really good retirement plan consultants.
really
Yep.
figure out what the solutions are and present them.
Yep.
Just so there's not a Frankenstein plan. And then also that it's very clear that doctors, we always think that they're just single source of income, they're just a doctor, it's just their practice, but oftentimes they're more creative than that or have more things going. And if you have other things going, you do need to disclose them in order to understand, does it impact your plan? And then finally, because you are the person in the family that often has more of the money, you might end up in businesses that need to be disclosed and set up correctly so that you don't create complex problems. So our role is that we understand that you live complex lives, and good for you. Our job is to keep it within the regs, to make it right, to try to make it so it's not so complex, because a lot of complexity makes it hard to operate.
Simplify things.
It makes it hard to operate the plan successfully and not make other mistakes.
Right.
And there's a lot of good solutions out there. So I would say doctors as a group, don't do fintech. Don't go for it takes 15 minutes to set this up and this is easy. You actually are more complex as people, and we would love to serve you. We just need good communication.
Can I ask for one thing from them?
One thing from them?
Yeah. When we ask for all your employees, all.
Including the family that comes to work for you.
Yeah, all your employees.
Yep. So if you want to continue this conversation, or at least benefit from the long experience that's here, write it in code, send it to sales@hunterbenefits.com. We'll slip the answer back through the email machine and help you out. But if you want to hear something really goofy and funny and talk forever, do sales@hunterbenefits.com and ask to talk to Christopher, because he would enjoy talking this with you and adding you to his big bag of interesting stories.
Yes, thank you, dear. Okay.
So this is our customer service announcement. Our help a specific field, not get too lost in the woods doing it. But why it's good to have actually quality consulting.